Thank you, girls. Good afternoon. Welcome to Assembly this afternoon. I would ask, please, Sam Pearce to come forward and say the acknowledgement and school prayer.
I acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land and pay my respects to the elders, both past and present. The traditional owners of the land upon which we meet are the Cooperberry from the Yugambeh Nation. Could you please stand and join me in saying the school prayer? Almighty God, from whom comes every good and perfect gift, send down your blessing, we pray, upon the school. Teach us to live together in love and joy and peace. In our work, give us a spirit of understanding and perseverance. In our games, true sportsmanship. In our prayers, how to belong to you. Let the spirit of devotion and loyalty unite us all more closely together, so that we may live not only for our own advantage, but also for the common good. Through him who loved us and gave himself for us, Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you. Could you please be seated?
If at the start I can welcome to the Assembly Joe Perkins, Development Executive with Apple, and also Claire Lanyon, Account Executive with Apple, who are going to join us in just a moment with some words that will become clear. Recently we ran a competition with those in 7, 8 and 9 for those who could come up with the best use of QR codes. So we'll be announcing that today, and also engaging in a bit of group discussion about some aspects of how modern technology can be used. As Joe and Claire said, one of the things that's given us a lot of pleasure has been the ability to share some of the things that we have been doing in this space. And today an email came to the school, which I will read to you, because I think it's a rather lovely testament to why we are doing some of what we're doing. You remember, I hope, at the TEDx conference, we announced that we were going to start the St Hilda's Learning Institute, and as part of that, we were going to give away curriculum, give it away to those in remote communities, give it away, hopefully, we have an ambition of trying to get into the refugee communities, because there are so many children in those locations who really don't have any advantages in using or having access to education. And quite frankly, as most of these children end up becoming citizens of this country, we feel that this is a space that somebody should try and fill. And while there are many obstacles to being able to do something in this area, not least a lot of intransigence or obstacles from governments who don't seem to want to help, we're still plodding away with trying to find a window to help these people who are very much less fortunate than ours. And this morning Mr Powell received an email from for Karkula Primary School, the Deputy Principal, Peter Kapoor. And it says, "Good morning, Jeff. I'm Deputy Principal of a little school near Pinjarra, Western Australia. I recently bought an iPad and found St Hilda's iTunes U learning apps. I had to find out how you create them, so searched the St Hilda's website, which led to you. I don't need to tell you how beneficial I find them. I downloaded the English spelling program for Year 6 and love the way you have worked with your teachers to create a great resource for your students. What program-app did you use to create these? I would love to use this type of technology for students at my school. We are from a low socioeconomic area and most of the kids don't have access to iPads at home, but we purchased 2 for the school for low achieving, low engaged students with a view to more integration into lessons for the whole class as we purchase more. Your assistance would be appreciated. Just in closing, I congratulate you for the wonderful use of technology." Now, we will receive no remuneration from helping, but help we will. And we are doing this, as I've said a number of times, because there are people who are less fortunate than ourselves, and we simply see that as being part of the natural mission of this school. So with that said, what we're going to look at now is, as we all go into this space of using technology well, one of the things that will be essential is that you play a role in thinking through whether the use of technology that we come up with is good or not so good. Now, a couple of weeks ago with those at 7, 8 and 9, I asked the question of whether or not QR codes are a good idea, and can you think of a really good way of using them? And I received some great suggestions, and the people who made the suggestions are in fact sitting on stage today. Well, I say it's not me. It's all right. We have a distinguished educator looking into it as well, with mixed success. But the group that gave me these suggestions, and in a moment I will award the $20 iTunes card, which I think I nominated was the price. I had a $20 iTunes. Oh, it's over in the chair over there. Which we will give to one of the lucky recipients. But first off, actually, I might as well do that now. We had, as I said, 8 applicants for this, and so Tatum, you might like to search out the card sitting on the chair over there. Excellent. And I've chosen 2 recipients for this. It didn't occur to me when I bought the $20 iTunes card I'd have to split it between 2. It makes me look a bit stingy, doesn't it? But anyway, we'll simply bear that in mind and try and overlook it as much as possible. But I think the suggestions I liked most were from Clancy Greeny and Liv Emmett. And they came up with, now here's a list of the ideas they came with. On the back of a book, other books by the authors. Magazines, watch the videos and see how to do things to do with the magazine. School gates, see a map and information about the school. Tuck shop, to see menus. Buildings around the school, videos of information about the building and what girls do in it. Coasters on restaurants, in restaurants, to find the menus for the websites. A blimp. This would be helpful in advertising things because you'd be able to get more information easier. The iPhone case, this would be helpful because you can find information about the brand and the make of the phone. And I guess you'd also put something in personal in terms of who owns the phone. Notice board, this would be helpful because of a way to check all information on the rest of the notice board. The school advertisement flags, helpful to find information about the school. A bumper sticker, you'd have to be quick to scan that one, wouldn't you? Anyway, a bumper sticker, it just fascinates me how you probably have to chase the car down. Don't do that. If you're stuck in a traffic jam, you could scan it, something to entertain you. You could always talk to the person next to you. And a billboard, this would be helpful if you're driving and someone else could take a photo of the billboard and read the rest of the billboard later. I just thought the sheer volume of ideas that Clancy and Liv came up with was quite exceptional. If they want to come out and get their iTunes card. And they'll have to think of a way of splitting the $10 between them. Now, what we're going to do is have a little panel discussion group up here, and what I'm going to do is show you 3 things. One is a little clip of an idea I found. In fact, it was also sent to me by Annalise Whittingham, and it was fantastic in one sense. It looks like the life that we'd all like to lead. Whether it's a good life, I'll let you decide. Anyway, have a look at this and see what you make of it. Do you think this will take off? Or is this just a
Skyfall. Done.
Now, I haven't been able to find a price on this, but I'm thinking expensive. So we'll just, and of course you would need a yard to put it in, which would show off its elegance. But there's that idea. Then the next one are two that, just have to wait for the clip to finish before. Here we are. Here's another idea that's just been released in the last week. It's iTunes Radio, and this will compete with Spotify and a range of other radio alternatives. Who, for example, joins in with Spotify and uses Spotify? Okay, that's interesting. Who pays the premium? Who pays for it and doesn't just use the free system? Okay. So, about 10%. Okay. And here's another idea. This one is a vibrating pen that Apple have taken the patent out on. This pen, I have to say, it took me a while to fall in love with this pen, and I'm going to invite Mr. Powell out also to join the panel. He fell in love with it a lot faster than I did. I must admit I was struggling to wonder why I would want my pen to vibrate, but he had a much better explanation, so I was a bit inclined to mock it to start with, but he suggested there were really good reasons why we might want to do that. Now what we're going to do is to quiz our panel on whether we think these ideas, the outside television, the haptic vibrating pen, or iTunes Radio are good ideas. And the interest, by the way, Mrs. Pinkerton is up here because she also entered the QR competition at a relatively low level, I might say. But nonetheless, it was a commendable effort, of course. But, so, here we are. Whether we think these are good ideas or not, and will they catch on? So, I'm going to hopefully get this microphone ready. Mr. Powell is going to come out to join the group. And does anyone want to start us off on whether they think these are good ideas? What do we... Oh. That's just in case he says anything completely silly. It's just to remind you that he is a distinguished educator. There we go. So, here we go. Why don't you start on? We'll try and stop it.
Thank you, Mr. Corley. Well, I just thought about this briefly, and for me, a new idea has to be modern. So let's talk about iRadio, for starters. Now, radio, really good modern idea. There's a guy called Ferdinand Reginald, who in 1906 was credited with sending the first radio broadcast across Massachusetts Bay on Christmas Eve. And he played his violin and read Bible passages to the ships that were out there. And that was, according to Wikipedia, the first radio broadcast. Now, unfortunately for poor old Ferdinand, his financial backers pulled the plug after that one slightly less than successful radio broadcast. Maybe if he'd done something a little bit more interesting than play O Holy Night on his violin and read from the Bible, he might have got a little bit more airtime. But that was the end of the radio until basically 1936, when the BBC took it up. So radio, not so new for me. Now, the other one, it looks really flash, doesn't it? The big sliding television. And I like the fact that they say it's waterproof, as if that's a feature. Well, the television might be waterproof, but I'm not. And do you want to sit out in the baking sun, watching the television? Do you want to get wet watching the television? Now, to paraphrase something from Mr. Larson's RE class, if God had meant us to sit outside and watch television, he would not have invented climate-controlled multimedia rooms that many of you have in your houses. So I have no interest in that, but a vibrating pen, now that's something nice. That's something new. What do you want a vibrating pen for? Well, a vibrating pen, the technology is something called haptics. Now, we all know about haptics. I was in the coffee shop the other morning, and I won't name names, but I was talking to Laura Goodall. And I said, what do you think of haptics, Laura? And she said, oh yeah, they're all the people that live in Southern California and speak Spanish. I said, no, they're the Hispanics, Laura. Haptics is something slightly different. And what it is, every time you set your iPhone to silent and it vibrates, that's haptic technology. And so rather than doing things visually, you do things by touch and sound, and that's haptics. Now, it started off with Braille, is the obvious way you use haptics, as you can't see, you feel, and you can read. And what they're trying to do, I don't know if those of you that try to write on your iPad with one of those pens, if you're like me, you find it less than satisfying because the pen just skids all over the place, or it's got a little sponge bit on it that makes it hard to grab. So haptics, as opposed to the pen vibrates and makes it feel like a real fountain pen as it's writing on a shiny surface. So not only that, it gives off a sound. So it will sound and feel like you're actually using a brush or a pen on a flat television surface. And I think that's got enormous potential, and it's a little bit more interesting than listening to the radio or watching the television. So thank you very much.
About the TV, I think that it's really good in terms of like weathering and stuff because you can't have an actual TV outside. So I think that's a pretty cool idea and be interesting for about a day. But as Mr. Powell said, I actually don't know how much I'd use it. I think, 10 minutes out there would do me under the sun and everything. And with the pen, now that Mr. Powers explained it, I initially thought it was a pen on paper that vibrates. I thought that would be very painful. But I guess that kind of would be a good idea, seeing as then you get more, texture. And with the radio, I am actually really excited for that app because it's like a DJ that you don't have, like an online DJ kind of thing that's mixing your music for you. You've got interesting playlists. I'm really excited for that. That's my opinion.
Okay, first of all, with iTunes Radio, when I saw the keynote, I was beside myself. I was so happy because I've been waiting for Apple to release this. I think it will take off, personally, but yeah, with their great sense of doing things right, and with how they did iTunes, I think it'll take off. With the TV, I don't really see a practical sense with going outside watching TV. But yeah, and I like technology that will really appeal to the masses, and I don't think this will. But yeah, and with the pen, I really think this will reach out to all the designers, all the creative people that couldn't use their finger to do things with the iPad or the iPhone. So yeah.
I think the TV is a little bit silly because when it folds out, then it's going to be like the creases in the TV, and I just find that annoying. With the pen, I think the designing is a good idea. And my friends in Canada, we like to play Draw Something, which is an app. And when I draw with my finger, I find that it looks pathetic. So I think the pen would be good for that. But I really like listening to the radio in the morning and stuff. So and that's also free, and I guess you can get free music. You can just listen to free music. So I really like that.
I personally think that the TV is also really silly because you don't always want to go outside because it could be really, really hot, or it could be really cold, or there could be bugs everywhere or something. And with the vibrating pen, I think it's a really good idea. I'm just still wondering if there got to be squiggles everywhere. With the iTunes Radio, I also think that's really awesome, but I just kind of think that not all radios play every single song, so I kind of think if they only have a certain type of song, most people like to listen to pop or something, that all the other types of songs won't really be playing because you'll be listening to those and it'll just keep playing those types.
So unlike most of my panel members, I actually like the TV idea the most. And I suppose that I was looking at this from a different angle. I wasn't thinking of it as a TV for personal use in my home so much as perhaps something that brings larger groups of people together to share in those really significant events in our lives, such as the Voice Grand Final. So I suppose more so from the sport perspective, I was thinking of, instead of those, less refined screens that they have outside of big stadiums for people from the public to come and watch larger sporting events, they could have this crystal clear LCD display, which is about 201 inches. So I was more excited about the TV personally.
Well, Miss Pinkton's just killed all my ideas. So I was also thinking about the TV like that. I had two sort of perspectives on that. With expanding on Miss Pinkton's hosting your outside parties and everything, I think it would be great, but if it was raining, it'd still all get wet. So I think it's a personal choice because you'd be the one spending the money, so yeah.
Is it just me, or are there marquees available?
Are we going to start on this? How big a marquee do you want?
I think the TV is kind of not a great idea because it might be weatherproof, but birds and animals will still climb all over it and leave their remains and stuff. If it rains, the water drops would cover the screen, so you wouldn't be able to see the image properly. The iTunes radio, I think that'll take off. Everything Apple does takes off. So, but I like the pen though. The pen would be pretty cool.
With a TV, we actually have a TV outside our house, and it does come in handy because it's nice to sit outside in the afternoon and watch TV. So I think that is a good idea. The only thing, it would be very expensive. So, yeah.
I looked up the price, about $750,000, $750,000 for that television before you get excited, girls.
Okay, very, very, very expensive. But with the iTunes U, what am I talking about? iTunes Radio, I think it would be a good idea for some people. I don't really know that it would be my favorite thing to use, but yeah. The pen, I think it's a really good idea because it helps people to know what they're drawing and not just, have the pen go anywhere on the iPad or anything. Yeah. Well, I think the TV is a really silly idea because my mum, when I'm feeling lazy, she tells me to get off the couch and go outside and do something. Then what's the point of going outside and watching TV outside when we're supposed to be out doing other stuff? And so I just don't think that'll work. With the radio, I'm not a fan of radio, but I know my mum is, so I think she's downloaded all these apps just to get try to get ABC radio from her phone. Yeah, so I think that will work for her if she wants to listen to radio or anything. And the pen, I like to draw a lot, and I want to try to do some digital art and draw on the iPad and stuff. So I think the pen would be useful because styluses don't work, and neither does your finger. So.
I go with Mrs. Pinkerton. I believe that the TV is a good idea because, like Liv said, your mum tells you to go outside, get some fresh air. Well, you can still do what you want to do while getting fresh air. So, it's better. And I also believe that because it's a bigger screen, you'll be able to see things like clearer. For example, I watch the footy and I support Queensland in the state of origin. Sometimes when you're watching it, because you're a bit biased, you'll be like, oh, come on, when the ref goes, or video ref goes, nah, not a try. You can be like, yes, that was a try, but you can't actually see it properly. So if you have a bigger screen, then you could agree with them more and be able to see it. So I think that'd be better. And with the pen, it's pretty much, if you can't draw, what's a vibrating pen going to help you draw? Go and get some drawing lessons.
Well, congratulations to our panel. Thanks very much, girls. You want to move the chairs back and we'll move to the next item. But thank you so much. That's been great. Every good idea needs an opinion and needs a community to make that idea work. So I think our community is very healthy in terms of making these ideas work. Well done, girls. The next item. Can we thank our guests from Apple as they leave?
On behalf of Mrs. Benzonati, I have the pleasure today to talk a little bit about the Queensland Economics Teachers Association, who have initiated a new competition for students this year. It's the Economics Position Paper Competition. The purpose of the competition was to get students to outline their position relating to specific economic issues and justify them with evidence. It gives us great pleasure today to announce that Alison Paxton Hall came third out of the 75 entries in this competition with the topic of carbon tax. So Alison, would you like to come forward, please? And with that certificate, a cheque for $50. Congratulations, Alison.
Good afternoon, girls. Spirit Week is in week 2, term 3, and the Student Council has put together some awesome activities for everyone to get involved in, and this year we've taken it to a whole new level. Spirit Week is a chance for middle and senior school girls to come together as a family and have fun. And now to the Year 7s to talk about how they'll start Spirit Week with Rainbow Day.
Hi girls, we are your Year 7 representatives this year and we're in charge of Rainbow Day for Spirit Week.
On Rainbow Day you'll be able to wear a coloured ribbon in your hair. We have colours for each grade. The colours are Year 7 blue, Year 8 pink, Year 9 yellow, Year 10 purple, Year 11 orange and Year 12 red. You'll be able to purchase these on the day and also paint your nails in the colour of that if you wish. Here are the Year 9s to talk about their day.
Good afternoon, girls. Emma and I are in charge of the whole school picnic on the Tuesday of Spirit Week.
There will be a bake sale with money going towards World Challenge.
This will be on the Oval, so come down for a fun lunch.
Don't forget your shared lunch and a picnic blanket.
Now on to the grade 8s for Wednesday of Spirit Week.
Hi everyone, I'm Ali and this is Lois, and we are the Year 8 representatives and we are organising the form relays for Spirit Week.
The form relays will be held at the Athletics Carnival on the Wednesday in Ashmore. Your class will get a sign-up sheet from your year and class level reps, so join in and help increase the spirit of both your form class and St Hilda's.
And now the Year 11s will be explaining what they're doing.
Hey guys, I'm I'm Mel. I'm Lainey. And I'm Steph. On the Thursday of Spirit Week, we will be holding a twin day. Come to school dressed as a twin with your friend for a gold coin donation.
There are heaps of prizes to be won, so we encourage you to get involved. And I invite the grade 10s up.
Hello, I'm Hattie. This is Dodie and Rita. As you know, Spirit Week is week 2 of next term, and as Year 10 Student Council reps, we've organised a St Kilda's Got Talent Open Mic Day.
Anyone and any act can perform. You can sing, dance, act, or have a comedy act. It's all up to you.
Come down to Rees on Friday week 2 and get a photo frog. For just participating, bring your lunch and all your friends down, and don't forget, everyone is talented in their own way. Thank you.
So all funds raised throughout the week will go to the Non-Novus Solemn Committee's focus charity for Term 3, which is the Rogan Rouge Foundation. This foundation aims to change the way beauty is perceived in the wider community, raises awareness about mental illness, in particular those to do with unhealthy body image, and also provides financial support to individuals and their families through the recovery process of mental illness. Now, we've put a bit of a spin on Spirit Week this year, so we have a short clip to explain that.
Okay.
girls, the winter fixture teams have been training well so far. There is a sport clinic the day before school starts on Sunday the 14th of July, and games will commence on the first Saturday back. Interhouse Athletics is in the second week of Term 3. Nominations were completed in House meetings, and the program will be either emailed to you or given to you at the next House meeting. And here is a video that Amy Holmes made for Touch, QG Touch season.
Girls, we don't have any time for a rowing update, but just a quick reminder to please send out to, if you haven't already, please send your athletics nominations to your house sports captains as soon as you can. Thank you.
Could you all please stand for the school song?